Good morning, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hi
Hello.
there. Good morning.
So Vicki is in Chile, but actually up here in Canada, it is chilly. Because we got our first snowstorm of the year. There we go. It's snowing outside. And that's not a frosted window pane. That is so much snow that it looks like. Oh, and how are you doing now? So you're in between us in Chicago, right, Betsy?
Right. And it is not snowing, but there were hints of just little bits of snow, but nothing sticking, nothing prolonged. But 17 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm. And is it windy? It's the windy city, right?
Yeah, it was when I was out yesterday. There was a chill, bone chilling wind.
Yes. Yes. But what's it like in summer over there in Vicki land?
Almost. Yeah, almost summer, and we have like 23 degrees Celsius. And I have a fan on at my side. Yeah.
Whereas I've got my WikiTree hoodie.
Oh, and there's the logo. T-shirt, a shirt under my shirt.
Yeah. So we have both hemispheres.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Present.
So we just need to
also in our audience. We have.
Yeah. So Murray was the first one from. I suspect he's getting lots of snow over in Collingwood. And Shortleys. Hillary's in Wales. Now we often joke about Wales being a rainy place, but does it get snow? It must get snow, but I wonder if it's snowing yet. No, she said it's a sunny afternoon in Wales. No snow.
Bit of snow, says Mary.
Oh. No snow?
Bit of snow, a little bit.
A little bit of snow. Okay. John Tyner, hello there in Ireland. Oh, and happy birthday to your mom, John.
Yes.
June Butka's joining us. Hi there, June. How are you doing? And let's see, scrolling down here. Chris Ferriolo, buongiorno. Patricia Jackson from Kentucky. Christine Miller, hello. Yoke from Netherlands. And Mohavlin from California, still in the 50s in California. That would be 50 Fahrenheit, not 50 Celsius would be pretty extreme. John says it's wet there in Ireland. So hello to everyone who's here live and in the chat, and hello to everyone who's watching this after the fact as well. Before we began, Anne asked a question about Megs, our dear friend Megs, who you haven't seen in a while. And if you follow Megs on Facebook, or if you read her blog on grandmasjeans.com, you will know that she did have there was a sad tragedy in her family. She's lost her father. Fletcher Galton has passed away, and this past week was the celebration of life for him, and they had a lovely memorial on Tuesday where they gathered in Greenville and celebrated his life and his many accomplishments. And if you read his obituary that she had posted or linked, it's incredible the things that he did. Very well-known, well-respected architect. And so she's with family, and we send Megs our love and our hugs, and hope that she's doing well, and she's taking some time away from WikiTree and other projects to just sort of regroup and get better. And we look forward to eventually, hopefully, she'll be returning to us sometime. But for now, we will carry on, and she's in our hearts, and sending her our best wishes. So there you go. And I'm going to turn it over to Vicki to.
Yes. A little change for our structure, right?
Yes.
Yeah, typical order. Sorry. I was going to show. I'm sorry for making you dizzy. This is our member of the week. We have Robert Teague to celebrate. So Robert Teague, I don't know if you know him, if you have involved in some some project with him. He is the project coordinator for the Native American project, and he joined WikiTree in December 2015. And he got interested in genealogy when he discovered that he was a descendant of the. Sorry?
Oh,
Oh,
no, nothing. The
I'm sorry.
last sentence got a little lost. There was like a little hiccup in the sound.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
yeah,
About he being the project coordinator.
we heard that, and then
Okay.
how he discovered genealogy.
Oh, okay. He discovered that he was a descendant of the absentee or citizen Wyandot. I hope I'm saying it right. Indians. So this revelation generated two questions. Why didn't we know about this history growing up? And how come we know so much about this or that family and not so much about the others? Can you relate to that? So many of us started that way. And then he started to research and became so into researching that he became a library geek. He loves to read, so he likes to pursue sources. He likes spending time at the nearby Family History Library and the UC Berkeley libraries, including the Bancroft, which is known for its Western Americana collection. And he enjoys transcribing documents from the National Archives as a NARA citizen archivist. So thank you for all your work. You're amazing, Robert.
He's coming up on
And
his 10-year anniversary on WikiTree. 20,
all right,
20, we're coming up on
Wow.
2025.
right.
Very
So
nice.
I'll fast forward to this part. Um, Something about where you were helped through the work of others on WikiTree, and he shares some experience that maybe we'll have had. He says, "Honestly, I've been most helped by WikiTreeers who have pointed out flaws or inconsistencies in my research." And he highlights the ability to collaborate with more experienced genealogists. And this talks about being humble, and it's hard sometimes when someone points out that you have some mistake in your profiles because we think we know everything about our ancestors. So here's to you, Robert, for being such a great genealogist and collaborative member of WikiTree. Thank you for all your work, and that's what I wanted to highlight, the spirit of collaboration.
Excellent.
So thank you, Robert. I will leave the link for his whole interview. You want to read it, and then if you are okay, I'm going to the profile makeover. So let's see. This profile makeover was made by Stephanie Dodd. She's a first timer in the challenge. And you remember this month we had the WikiTree Week challenge joined to the Profile Makeover Challenge. So we
Right.
asked our participants to do the makeover of a profile of someone who was born or deceased or married during the WikiTree Week dates. So she made this makeover. This is the profile, I mean, the before picture of Earl Henry Snavely. That's not a common surname, right?
No,
No.
Have you seen it?
I
Snavely.
have not seen it before.
Mm-hmm. And he was, well, he had only a source, one source in his profile. He's a third times removed cousin of Stephanie. And he was born in 1885. That's all we knew.
Mhm.
And then this is his profile. I wanted to highlight this profile because it's very similar to what we do when we put sources in our ancestors in their profiles. And what I wanted to highlight is that I always say you don't have to be an artist or an expert to make a great profile. You just put sources and you write a biography through what you know about these sources. So now we know that Earl Henry was the son of Henry Clay and Sarah, and he lived in Maryland. He attended the Maryland Agricultural College, and he studied mechanical engineering. And then he married when he was 20 to Mary Alice Savage. They had one daughter, Dorothy Ellen. And then he worked as a separator. What would that be in a car shop? Do you know?
A separator?
The separator.
Separator. I don't know.
Maybe if you broke down a car, and you were separating the different parts, for recycling or reusing or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Maybe.
could you make it a little bit bigger? Could you enlarge it, Vicki?
Let's see.
There. Oh, getting better. Good, good.
Too much?
No, that was good.
Okay.
That was good. Well, one more level.
There.
Thank you.
Oh, it's great for me too. So then he registered for World War I. And that time he was working as a service manager at Moline Plow. In 1920, he was living in Illinois. And he was working for Stephen Motors. Then I'll summarize this. He registered for the draft of World War II. And at that time, he was living in Michigan. And he was working as a teacher. His employer was the Board of Education. And his wife, Mary Alice, passed away in 1944. So maybe it was during the time when he was at war. So, well, then he married again to Una Grace Gray. And he passed away at 1957 at 71. And we can see sources and a see also section. And this is very simple, this is a makeover anyway. He had no bio, just one source, had no clue of spouses and children. So great. It's a great work by Stephanie, and this is her first profile makeover. And we all know how to do this. It's not really hard. And some people say, I don't know how to write a biography. I'm not a writer. But you don't have to be a best-selling author to do a bio, because now we have tools like artificial intelligence. And that leads me to, I'm going to...
Well done, Stephanie.
Yes, congratulations, Stephanie. Thank you, Betsy. This is the last week for you to watch the WikiTree Week Symposium videos on YouTube. So they expire the 4th of December. I already watched all that I wanted to watch, but well, I'll comment that afterwards. If you want to know how to write a biography using artificial intelligence, we have 2 talks about that. So please watch Melanie McComb's lecture, Using AI in Family History. And there was other talk.
Thomas McKenzie is always popular.
Yeah, that was a great talk.
This is the one. 5 ways to use AI for your genealogy. This is by Maureen Taylor. So you have until the 4th to watch them. And I thought, I didn't watch all of them because, for instance, I'm not interested in Salem witchcraft. I don't have any ancestors that have been witches. But there's some historical context about it that maybe we should all learn. And the same happened to me with this one, finding the records for impossible genealogy from a Chinese genealogist. I don't have any ancestors in China, but you know what? We all come to a point where we need to research in a language that we don't speak. So maybe this could make me learn about her experience, and maybe it could inspire some ideas about your own research. maybe it's something that you left behind and you found hard to do. Well, maybe now you can learn a few tips from a Chinese genealogist, something that had never come to your mind. So this is it from my screen. As I invite you all to see these videos.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had some interesting comments about what you were talking about with the makeover. So Anne and Yoke both said they prefer doing sources, but then Veg Beauty says that writing the bio is the fun part. So it takes both types.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have different skills.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you want me to go next with the profiles, Betsy?
I can go next. And
okay, you go ahead.
Okay. All right. So our let's see. Let's look at our question of the week. And in keeping, I have to share my screen, don't I? There we go. And I'll make it bigger. So this question is linked to American Thanksgiving, which happened 2 days ago on Thursday. And the question is, has researching your family history made you more thankful? Yeah. What about you, Greg?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been thankful that I've got twice as much fun because I've got an adoptive family and a biological family. So I've got twice as much genealogical fun as many of you. So
wow. Wow. And you have a different day for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna say, you guys, you're a month late celebrating your
right.
We do ours in October when there's no snow on the ground, and much easier to travel if you have to go a distance to visit with people. So it's a much nicer way. Also, you're not crammed with one big celebration and then the Christmas celebration, just a short month later.
Yeah.
So it seems to me it makes more sense to spread it out like we've done, up in Canada. But you've got a bit of a tradition, so it would be pretty hard, I suspect, for you to change at this point.
I think we're going to stay where we are.
Or just celebrate both, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. I have Canadian roots, so I could do both.
You could.
Or you could travel.
Yeah.
Both.
Vicki, what about you? Has researching your family history made you more thankful?
Of course, yes. Because you find so many surprises, things you didn't know about your family, and you learn about your origins, and make you love more what you have. I'm really proud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got some fun answers in the chat. So Chris is thankful that we appreciate his sense of humor. I like Yoke's answer, though. Makes me thankful for modern medicine, just seeing all those children who died young.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think on my part, I'm very thankful for the distant family that I've come to connect with and who have become, real parts of my life, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And and I just feel like also that studying my ancestors gives me a much richer sense of who I am, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, totally.
So, we had 16 terrific answers. So since I think we can look at them all.
Sure.
Brenda Millage says, I'm very thankful I've been able to find out more about family in all directions, and also thankful that I did not have 12 siblings or 12 kids. That was so
We're thankful. We're thankful for those ancestors at Connectathons and Sourceathons.
Sure. Rich Moss wrote, I am the result of all my ancestors' dreams and tragedies, struggles and successes. I am thankful.
Wow.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of people commented about older family historians in their family who kind of laid the groundwork for what they're doing right now.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Patricia was one of those. First of all, she said, I'm most thankful that my ancestors survived the daily challenges that they faced and made it possible for my wonderful children to exist.
Mhm.
Then thankful for Aunt Millie, who spent so much time researching our shared tree branch, kept sending me yearly packets of information about them that I was too busy to care about back then, but she kept sending them. And then I finally caught that genealogy bug from her, and I'm so thankful for all the information that was available online 20 years ago for the other half of my ancestors, and that I gathered it. So much has vanished now. I think that's something we have to be mindful of, is that just because it's online now doesn't mean that it will be online forever. So
Yes.
thankful for WikiTree being such a great collaborative place to grow my shared tree, and also for the fun CC7 challenge that pushes me to add profiles and discover family I would ignore otherwise. Yeah, I love going sideways. Chris Ferriolo, who's in the chat,
Chris.
says, I'm thankful for being able to forge relationships with cousins near and far. Researching ancestors has allowed me to discover cousins in all corners of the globe, from Massachusetts to Europe and even South America and Australia. Finding them all really illustrates how well traveled the family is and how large it is, too. It really shows me that we're not alone and that genealogy isn't a solo gig. It takes everyone working as one to paint a good picture of the family. That's true. Yeah, very true. Let's see. Susan Ellen Smith is thankful her European ancestors were brave enough to escape the persecution and poverty they were facing. Her Swiss Anabaptist ancestors came to Pennsylvania from Europe, driven by religious persecution. Then her Sicilian family risked everything to come to America, and they settled in Brooklyn. Their courage and determination has influenced who I am and where I was born and my life in freedom. Happy Thanksgiving.
Look at this one, Greg.
Oh.
I'm also very thankful for that. Thank you so much.
What are we looking at? I can't look at
Anne says, thank you very much. Sorry, Betsy. Thank you very much for Greg for having mystery box.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
100%. Alice Yuns says, echoing what Vicki said, I think, thankful for modern science and all the ways it's helped life and expectancy to grow over time. It's one thing to know extractly that kids were more likely to die young back in the day, and quite another to actually be looking up your own distant ancestors and see a family with 8 children, only 3 of whom survived to adulthood. And think about all the distant cousins and family stories that might have been in another world where great aunt hadn't died of diphtheria, for example. So yes, that is something that I think we all had. The farther back we go and we look at death certificates, we realize we're very blessed with modern medicine. Janet Puckett says that she's grateful that most of her paternal ancestors came to this country in the 1600s and 1700s, mostly escaping religious persecution in European countries. And she had an ancestor that did a lot of, her great aunt did a lot of work, laid the groundwork for the family genealogist. And she also writes about her great-grandfather their family migrated from Missouri to California by wagon train in 1858. I mean, that must have been a very hard journey. So, but it created a whole new life, those are our ancestors who migrated. Let's see. Lyndon Van Wert says, I'm definitely thankful. My earliest gratitude was in learning the context of people's lives whose stories I already knew or had known in person. New research pointed out the endurance, struggles, and joys behind those familiar stories and explained the who of each, the primary reason I became interested in genealogy. So I think that is true. You know, you hear stories over and over when you're a child, so much so that you almost can't, the grooves are so well worn, it's hard to like bump yourself out of them and see other possibilities. But when you can, it's eye-opening. Laura Bazet writes, I am a history junkie and love seeing how ancestors fit into the world in their time periods. And she's thankful for being able to share knowledge with the family's younger generations. Okay, Vicki, this is yours.
There we go.
I understood it, but you wouldn't want to hear me read it.
Oh, okay. So this is from Renzo Fernando Herrera Moreno. He's from Venezuela. And he says, me siento agradecido. No, you wanted me to translate, right?
Oh, no,
no, I won't read it.
Yes, we do.
No, come on. He feels grateful for the fact that his existence is part of his ancestors' life and for discovering the connections between them and the learning that comes from it. And also for finding this platform, and for beginning the adventure around his family history. So, gracias, Fernando. Renzo Fernando, genial tenerte aquí en esta plataforma, así que desde ya puedes saber que cuentas conmigo para lo que necesites. So I'm saying thank you for being on WikiTree, and count on me for anything you like. That's it.
Nice. I love hearing your Spanish. It's just so beautiful, Becky.
You know how I felt? Like those Miss Universe contests?
Yeah.
Where Miss Venezuela is always at the finals.
Oh.
And there's a translator saying, Miss Venezuela says world peace. Whatever. That's how I felt.
Well, thank you for taking that one. Let's see. Ronnie Grindle says, my ancestor histories are full of flight and expulsion, poverty, and distress. I'm thankful I did not have to go through such hard times. Marian Cerruti writes about that her ancestors died. Some of her ancestors died of diseases that we can cure nowadays. Some of them escaped religious persecution and or slavery, which was much more widespread previously. They went through unspeakably awful experiences, such as losing the majority of children to her family. And she is thankful that we don't have most of these problems today. Different problems that seem trivial by comparison, such as not being able to find information on our great-grandparents. Alice Thompson is thankful to learn more about her family and new relationships to notables, pilgrims, presidents, plus. And Val Goss says, I am thankful that both my parents' ancestors were brave enough to start a new life in a new country, and in doing so took their future generations out of the poverty they had experienced. They would be so proud of the contributions their descendants have made, and to know that the country they chose is also better off for the exceptional contributions made by their descendants. Thankful for connections to my past, says Mindy McElwain. And then John Bean had the last word for now. Remember, these threads are always open, so feel free to go in and add your gratitude. John Bean writes, absolutely. Traveling to a new world in the 1600s was like going to Pluto today. They had only a vague idea of what they would find and how they would live. The level of raw courage, hope, and ingenuity they must have had is astounding to my mind. Yeah. So,
I starred one comment here.
Yeah.
Beauty. When she was in her hometown in June, she made her nephews help her clean up her ancestors' graves to teach them to care for them.
Oh,
so that's Especially
Yeah,
if she
super
told a story
nice.
about, like, at each gravestone, told the story of that ancestor, right?
That's really nice.
That would
Yeah.
be funny.
Wow, and they love hearing about them. My
I
family
know.
is tired of hearing about our ancestors. They have jokes about it.
I think that's something that scouts, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts sometimes do as a project, is
Oh
to
yeah.
Oh,
go and work and clean
that's
up
nice.
the yeah. Wonderful. Well, let's see. Today is our last day of November, which means it's our last day of pet photos.
Oh.
We did not have any new submissions, so the three of us came up with something.
Yes.
Mhm.
I will show you. Seeing a photo now?
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, is that you, Betsy?
No. This is
Oh.
one of my older cousins over in Taiwan.
Oh.
And that's my grandfather. And the dog is called Lady. And I know that because my family always had German Shepherds,
Mhm.
and they were all called Lady. Lady
Oh.
1, Lady 2, Lady so that was Lady some number.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
that's funny.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see.
do I share mine?
Yeah, why don't you take over?
Yes, I have this photo in my balcony of three cats. Are you seeing? Yeah.
Yep, we're seeing it. Yeah.
At the top, we see Milito. It's short for Emilio.
Ah.
They're both, well, all my cats are rescues. And this is Greta. Down. I named Greta after I have said this before, after Greta Thunberg, because Greta Thunberg
Yeah.
wears her hair, or used to wear her hair like this, and she has that mark. And well, and I don't have a Finnegan cam, but
we have
better. I had the third one, and she was
Oh,
sleeping.
Oh, look at the ears. They're such a neat pattern on her
Yeah.
the back of her ears.
Calico. They're called Calico. This is funny, and she was named after the brick wall I was working when I rescued her. And she was found in a tree when she was a baby. And after that, I guess Fanny at heaven was so happy that she let me pass through, and now my brick wall is her father. So I think Fanny
Excellent.
And that's it for me.
Oh, that's
And
great.
they're waiting for Finnegan.
Well, okay. So Finnegan is just sleeping there.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not
Always
doing
there.
much now. But I have a video of the first time that we took him home, because he was actually a rescue. He was actually a Louisiana dog who was rescued by my son's girlfriend's parents. My son girlfriends at the time, parents, and they needed to find a more permanent solution because they couldn't they had two dogs and they couldn't look after both of them. So we drove down, picked him up, and then took him back. And that was the end of February. So this was his first walk in the snow, and he seemed to enjoy it at the time, I think. But here we go. Okay. That's the wind against my camera or my phone.
It's like he's looking at you like, what is going on?
Oh, he was so excited.
And how long ago was that?
So that is 2019.
Oh, 5 years ago.
Yeah. February of 2019.
Wow. And doesn't it hurt their paws? The snow?
There's the big shake. Yeah.
Does it hurt their paws, Greg?
Well, I don't know if it. Well, if we went for super long, I guess. But he's never complained about getting snow in his paws. So and I did buy a doggy thing for him, but it was too small. So I He doesn't wear, doggy boots or a doggy sweater, but
Yeah.
We usually
It
limit our-
doesn't snow here in Santiago. That's why I was asking.
Oh, it doesn't snow because it's.
No. I mean, like twice I've seen.
Oh.
Well, thank you both for
Oh,
bringing
sure.
it to the screen. And the theme for December's photos is just favorite photo. So
nice.
I know that we all have that one or two photos where we happen upon it on our computer or somewhere and we think, oh, I just love this one. So that's the one to post to the gallery.
Great.
Nice.
And then we just have two ancestors to celebrate. Let's see. The first is, yes. Okay. This is from Lucas Murphy. And it is, so he has a photo, exceptional photo there. And this is no relation to Lucas. What he does is, he goes to antique stores, auctions, other places where people have just sold or left off photos, and he makes video bios. He researches them. He does a video bio for the person on YouTube and TikTok, and of course a WikiTree profile. And his this is Adolphus Shader, and his November connection is that he died on November 16th, 1915 in Glasgow, Kentucky. And if you would like to see, I didn't have time, but I'm definitely going to check it out. Oh,
Wow.
All his family.
Look at that.
Yeah, born in Germany.
Wow.
And then
That's so generous.
I know. I love that. If you go down to the See Also section of the profile, wow, this is a lot of work.
This is incredible. So how did he get his name? How did he get the name in the first place? Is what I'm wondering. Like from a random photo.
It might have been on the back, but I don't know.
But it might be a pack of photos because there are many. And probably they have the names.
Wow.
Well, I guess it also included, and if those are actually originals that were in that package or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow. The Shader enjoyed camping and did it in style.
Wow.
So it says Charles, the son of Adolphus, was interested in photography, and about 200 of his photographs survive. So maybe it was a packet. Yeah.
I wonder if any of the ancestors have identified one of these profiles.
Yes. Okay. So here under See Also, so you can go. The profile is Shader 28, and then you can see the video. And maybe Lucas talks a little bit more about his research journey.
So interesting.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you.
I think we're all typing the.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I did to watch the video.
Is Lisa in the chat?
I haven't seen her.
Don't think I saw her. Well, Lisa gave us our other ancestor to celebrate. This is one of her grandfathers. His name is Osias Suave, who was born on November 2nd, 1870.
Sauve, yeah.
So that's strange because I thought I was doing so well, because doesn't the accent mean that gets more weight?
Sauve.
So,
yeah, you said suave. Or,
I
way that you were getting backward.
I mangled the vowels. Yes.
That's okay.
Thank you, Greg.
No problem.
So Osias,
what would we do without you?
Yes, I know. He could not read or write except for his name, which he rarely wrote. Her mother was a child of his third wife. And for many years, Osias thought he was born in 1864. My mother and her sibling believed that for many years. And then Lisa found his baptismal record clearly dated 1874. So he just became 10 years younger.
There we go.
So there is the profile. And yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
17
That is very impressive.
17 children. Wait.
children.
Father of
Oh, in his, wow.
17. 3 wives, though, remember?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, true. Okay. Huh. So, and research notes, wonderful. So, very, very nice.
Wow.
Thank you, Lisa.
Great profile.
Yeah.
So-
Lisa is, having an adventure.
That's
maybe
right.
flying
Yes, she said that
somewhere.
she was going to be
Oh,
away this
That's
weekend.
right. That's right. Yeah.
So she's
Well,
adventuring.
I'll have to send her the link. So, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Well, you know what? You're right. In Spanish, the accent does mean where the emphasis goes,
Mhm.
but in French, the accent changes the sound of the vowel.
Yeah.
Because unlike in Spanish, which is nice because the vowels always sound the same. You write an E, it sounds like an E, or
Yeah.
the way it's pronounced in Spanish. But in French, an E can sound like A, as in sauve, which is why it has that accent aigu.
Yeah.
It goes this way.
Yeah.
Because of the or if it goes the opposite direction, it makes an eh sound, like lev, in a lev.
Mhm.
Or you can have an like Noel, which is a slightly
Right.
different pronunciation with where's the hat. So it changes the vowel sound, and because French have multiple vowel sounds for every single
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why there are so many great flute players from France. Because
yes.
use those vowel shapes in your
Oh
mouth
yeah, it changes your
create different tone colors and yeah.
I
Oh,
never made
look
that
at
connection before. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the muscles.
Yeah.
And that sound, the accent that you made
Yeah.
on an E
Mhm.
in French sounds just like the E with an accent in Spanish.
Okay.
Nice.
So I just, my brain, Spanish is much more recent in my brain than French. So yes,
Oh.
went straight to the Spanish interpretation.
Yeah, but it's
Right. That's cool. So let's look at the profiles of the week, and of course, I had Adolfo Shader up, so let's switch that. Wait a second, I'll just go. There we go. Yes. So the theme of the connection checkers this week, of course, was Thanksgiving, and thus the profiles as well. So, in which profile of the week are you all most closely connected to?
let's see.
Susanna Winslow for me, 13 degrees.
Okay.
And some European I saw.
Some European.
Oh no. Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
Let's see. For me, it looks like 17 degrees is the closest, and that's William Bradford or Susanna Winslow. But so they're all connected with Thanksgiving in one way or the other, of course. And starting with William Bradford, who was the governor on Plymouth Colony in 1621, which is often credited as the first Thanksgiving with the Pilgrims. So he was the second governor of the colony, but he was the governor in 1621 when that Thanksgiving first occurred. And so I'm pretty sure we've talked about him. We've certainly talked about the Pilgrims before a lot and their journey. William, like many, was born in England, was dissatisfied with the religion, and eventually moved to the Netherlands for a brief point in time, along with a lot of religious followers, and then came back to England and they had planned to take 2 ships across to the New World, the Mayflower and the, what's the one called? It didn't quite, they had to turn around. Let's see, it's in here. it's in here somewhere. Then there were 2 ships. One had to turn around because it wasn't seaworthy, and so it was the Mayflower that made it over to the colony. And I remember talking about the story because he was married twice. His first wife, Dorothy, they were married in Amsterdam when they were over in Holland for that before they returned. Dorothy May got married in November 1613. When they arrived to the New World in 1620, she died on the 7th of December she accidentally fell over off the Mayflower. They were in the harbor. And so what a tragedy.
Yeah.
And, like, you made it this far. You just had to go this little bit more and you would have been sick. And that's it's just so sad. He did marry again in 1623. Had 2 sons with her. No, he had 2 sons and then 1 daughter born to the second marriage. Yeah. So anyways, and he was governor there in that first Thanksgiving. So this is a very well done profile, and I'm sure we've talked about him before. The next one is Peter Hardman Burnett, distant cousin, who was the first governor of California in 1849, and first elected December 20th, 1849 to January 9th, 1851. So I guess that's I don't know if that's the typical term, a single term. Is that 2 years?
For
2 years.
to be governor,
Mm-hmm.
it might be 2 years. All of a sudden I feel like I'm on the spot, and that.
I mean, things could have changed so much from back then or there. Like
True.
He passed away in 1895, so it wasn't because he died that ended shortly. But politics, you can never count on anything, right? So anything could have happened. And it's a fairly short bio, but the connection to this is that he hosted a Thanksgiving in California and hosted the first Thanksgiving in California. And according to the summary here,
cool.
In the first Thanksgiving in the state happened in 1850. So that's when he held that. So next we have Lydia Maria Francis, daughter of Conver Francis and Susanna Rand. She was born in 1802 in Medford in Massachusetts, passed away at the age of 78 in October 1880 in Wayland, Massachusetts. And she was a novelist and writer, and best known for her work Over the River and Through the Woods. So I guess that's been turned into a song. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Right?
Yep, that's it. There's yeah.
There it is. That's all I know of it. But
is it okay? I don't know the song. I mean, I've heard that phrase before. I thought it was
grandfather's house.
His grandfather's house here.
I've heard grandfather.
Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, but it's very lyrical, so I can see how it was easily turned into a song, right? Over the river and through the wood to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the wood to grandfather's house away. We would not stop for doll or top, for 'tis Thanksgiving Day. It's got such a lyrical thing, and what I love about it is the third line of each has an interior rhyme to it, right? It stings the toes and bites the nose. It's all it's very cool.
She kept that up for quite a few stanzas.
She did, yes. And hooray for the fun! Is the pudding done? Hooray for the pumpkin pie! Very cool. So, in keeping the theme of poetry and WikiTree alive. So, I should get Vicki to pronounce this, but I'm going to try. Juan de Oñate y Salazar.
Oh, yes. Juan de Oñate y Salazar.
Okay. Thank you. So, Don Juan was born in about 1550 in Pánuco, Zacatecas.
Zacatecas.
Nueva Galicia.
Mhm.
uh,
Perfect.
in Mexico. Passed away about the age of 76 in Guadalcanal, Sevilla, back in Andalusia, España, back in Spain. He was a conquistador from New Spain, explorer, viceroy of the province of Santa Fe de Nuevo Mexico in the Viceroyalty of New Spain. And his father was a Spanish Basque explorer. Basque is that region in between Spain and France. And also a colonial official and a wealthy silver mine owner. He led an expedition northward with Franciscan missionaries, took possession of what is now New Mexico, became the first governor. He was summoned back to the city of Mexico, where he was accused of cruelty towards both the Indians and the colonists in New Mexico, and he was convicted but this was reversed on appeal, and he spent much of his life trying to clear his name. I'm wondering if because of that besmirching his name, if that's why Salazar became the name of Salazar Slytherin in the Harry Potter series.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. But
Okay. Well, there's four houses of the one where the bad types often are associated, but not necessarily. But Salazar Slytherin. I don't know. So that was my wondering about him. And so his connection with Thanksgiving was that they celebrated Thanksgiving in what is now Texas in 1598. So that actually predates the 1621 Thanksgiving. So that's an interesting fact there.
And I wanted to say something about the last profile about Oñate Salazar.
Yeah.
When you will see some Spanish profiles that say Don. Don.
Like here.
It's just like saying Mr.
Oh.
It's just a respectful way to address to someone. So Don is not a name.
It's not a name. It's a title.
In this context.
Okay, so you know what? It's written as a prefix.
Yeah, but it's like saying Mr.
Right.
But they call Don and Doña to people that have a certain status. But it's not really used as a prefix.
Is it sort of like sir and lady? Something?
Yes. Yes, but it's not a title.
Yeah.
So it's not granted.
Sometimes sir and lady are a title of nobility.
Right.
In this case, it doesn't. It's not. I mean.
So we should get rid of it?
Yes.
Dare I do that right now?
If you want to.
Well, if you think I should, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the reason? Where's the thing that says?
Vicky said.
Vicky said.
That Don is not a prefix or a title. It's like
it's not
Mr.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
doing it.
Literally.
We're doing it.
Okay.
You saw it happen live, folks.
Okay.
Free on YouTube.
Now, who is Marge V? Okay, Marge V. You can talk to Vicki about that. She's the profile manager.
I'm responsible for that.
But it makes sense, actually. Yeah. There we go. And in the biography, it just says Juan de Oñate, right?
Yes. It's not a name. It's just Mr. Juan.
Mr. Juan.
Mr. Oñate. Mr. Oñate.
Good. Okay. Moving on to Sarah Josepha Buell, who was born in 1788 in Newport, New Hampshire. Passed away, that's okay. 30th April, 1879 at the age of 90, Philadelphia. That's great. Interesting, her middle name there, Josepha. I haven't seen that name in English very often, but in French, often you'll see women with the middle, or it could be in my first name, with Josepha with an E at the end, or sometimes Josephte with a TE at the end after Joseph, as a female version of Joseph, as opposed to just Josephine, which is sort of the more common female version of Joseph. But I hadn't seen this in English before, so that was new to me. I don't know. Have you seen that? Have you heard that name in English before? Betsy?
I have heard it pronounced Josepha.
Josepha. Oh, interesting.
But no, I agree with you that Josephine is way more common to feminize.
Yeah, it's usually in Spanish though.
And how would you
Josefa.
pronounce it in Spanish?
Josefa.
Josefa. Okay.
Yeah, but in ancient Spanish, the priest wrote like in Latin, so
Right.
they use the PH, but it's Josefa instead of the F.
Oh, okay. So she was the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Isn't that cool? Like, you know, the nursery rhyme?
Yeah.
That one I know.
Face was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went was there to go.
Mary had a little lamb. Yeah, that's that one.
Yep,
Right?
there we go. Yeah, we sing that with Sophia. So she's also, but her connection here is that, so she was also, she's got a great profile here, and she became an editor for Ladies Magazine and quite influential. And she basically asked that Thanksgiving be created, that the holiday known as Thanksgiving be created, and she campaigned for that. Also for the Bunker Hill Monument, which is interesting. I don't usually associate Bunker Hill and Thanksgiving together, but those are both two things that she fought for, along with other things in terms of women's rights and stuff. So that's very cool. So thanks to her, it's become more of a thing. And Martin Frobisher, here's your Canadian content for today. Now he was not born, nor did he die in Canada, but he was pivotal, one of the many explorers in Canada, especially in the Arctic, actually. So he was born in 1535 in Yorkshire, England, and passed away on the Feast of St. Cecilia, 22nd of November, 1594, at the age of 59 in Plymouth. So English explorer and privateer. So I know him as a Canadian explorer. He explored the Arctic Ocean and the north of Canada, which is part of which is now called Nunavut, but used to be the Northwest Territories. There still is Northwest Territories, but it's been carved up into Nunavut and Northwest Territories, and the Arctic Ocean up there. And in fact, there is a Frobisher Bay named after him and stuff. But before he became an explorer, he was a privateer, which we've talked about before on the Saturday LiveCast. Is basically a pirate who's been hired by, or who's been allowed to pirate because of enemies of the state. So his target were French Catholic ships. So if you were a French Catholic ship owner, then this guy was gunning for you, literally, actually. So yeah, he was occupied with capturing ships and cargoes, and he was often, when he got to the New World at one point, he was arrested, but then the Queen forgave him, you know, his discretion, because of course he was doing her work. Anyway, then he became an explorer, and they did run into problems with the last trip. He took a bunch of stuff thinking that there would be gold back to England, but there was no gold in the thing. And his last trip ended up with a number of casualties, so it wasn't really that successful, unfortunately. But he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth I for his role, because he also helped in with the Spanish Armada in there. So that was it. And his connection to Thanksgiving, though, is that when he was up in the north, in what is now called Nunavut, he celebrated the first Thanksgiving with his crew on May 27th, 1578. So again,
7th. Okay.
May 27th. Well, probably Thanksgiving in the fact that they made it to the New World, or he made it safely. Right. So
Right.
this Thanksgiving wasn't so much Thanksgiving because the harvest is over. Thanksgiving, we're giving thanks that we've made it.
Yeah.
So that's why Canadian Thanksgiving is before the American,
Yeah,
because this
it's
one
usually not
is
that
May.
far before. we still have it more in harvest time, but our harvest time, of course, being up north, is earlier than the American harvest time. Moving on, but one of the things I wanted to show you is not him. Where we're then we're moving on to Massasoit I'm not sure how to pronounce Massasoit Wampanoag. Now, Betsy, do you know this name? Can you pronounce it better than me?
No, that's how I would say it.
Is that how you'd say it? Okay.
We could be wrong together, but
okay then. So his claim to fame is he's one of the Indians who joined that first Thanksgiving in 1621, along with Governor Bradford and the others in the Plymouth colony. And of course, their assistance allowed them to actually survive that first winter together, for this pilgrims to survive together. So this is quite a thorough and well-written profile, and talks about all that details. But one of the things it says is, he's quite well known. School children know his name, so that's why I was wondering if you'd heard his name.
Yeah.
Now I'm really sorry.
I studied the American Thanksgiving in elementary school.
I'm really sorry we don't have our member of the week today, because he's leading the leader of this project.
That's right. He'd be able to correct us.
I'm so sorry.
Totally.
That would have been good. Okay. So yeah, born in the Wampanoag tribal lands, passed away in 1661 in Middleborough in the Plymouth colony. So moving on, because I can see it. Oh, it's already 11. Ronald Reagan. He was not at the first Thanksgiving. He wasn't that old. Born in the 6th of February 1911, Tampico in Illinois. Passed away 2004. Wow, 2004. 20 years ago. I didn't think it was that long ago. But anyways, 93 in Bel Air, LA, Los Angeles. 40th president of the United States and governor of California before that. And his claim to fame, his connection with Thanksgiving, he was the first U.S. president to pardon a turkey.
Oh.
Gave them their stay of execution.
Great.
Which is kind of funny. But anyways, it's a very nicely done profile. Some really nice pictures there of him going through his life as from veteran actor and politician, and then the legacy that he leaves behind. So very nicely done. Then we have FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Ooh, 7th cousin, 5 times removed. And he was born in 1882 in Hyde Park, New York. Passed away at the age of 63 near the end of the war, 1945, in Warm Springs, Georgia. President, of course, of the United States, 32nd president, and also governor of New York. And so his connection with Thanksgiving is that he's the one who declared that Thanksgiving would henceforth be celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November.
Right.
And apparently it was, I had read somewhere that I guess the date had shifted around, and at one point it was a week later, but he had decided to make it consistently the 4th Thursday of November. And part of the reasoning for it then was because they would give people an extra week of shopping to stimulate the economy. So, and let's see, what did it say? What year he did that in? It doesn't say there the year he did that in.
And you're 19 degrees away from him.
I am
20 degrees.
Oh,
away.
That's interesting, because we're usually not that close in terms of how connected we are to someone. Cool. So that was his connection. But what I wanted to show you is what his profile looks like with the new And we still have, this is the last week to get feedback. So if you haven't looked at the new layout, this is what one of the profile looks like with the new design for WikiTree. And we talked about this. I showed this last week, but currently the way it's set up is when you first go to a profile, it gives you these nice quick links here, links outside of WikiTree, or outside of the profile, and the interior links to the profile are here, so you can jump around. But it automatically shows you the pedigree of the person you're on, because quite often that's what people are interested in. But if you're interested in their story more than their ancestors, you can hide that with a quick little thing. And if you want to go from ancestors to descendants, that's also a quick button to click on. But what I wanted to show you is in his profile, the current profile, there's lots of images, and they go all the way down. But in the new profile, there is basically a carousel, and so you can scroll through, and it doesn't take up. It just takes up the room for one photo on the page, but you can see lots of them. But it doesn't sort of take up the whole right side of the page. So that's kind of neat. And then you have a quick way to actually upload. You don't have to go to a secondary page to find the images and to find the place where you hit upload, and then you can also view them all at once. I don't know if that link works or not. Okay, so this is one of the page. This page hasn't been updated, so that's probably, my guess is you're going to see sort of a gallery view more when you get to this with the new design, but we will see. Then moving on, Isidor Straus, who was born in Germany, 1845, and passed away 15th of April, 1912, in the Atlantic Ocean on the Titanic, which is very sad. And connected to that, actually, as the Titanic was sinking, I mean, he was in first class with his wife and his manservant and his maid. They watched, the maid got into the lifeboat number 8. So women and children were supposed to go first, right? And so she did. They offered him and his wife a seat, presumably because he was first class, but he refused. He would not go. He said he would not board a lifeboat while there were still women and children aboard the sinking ship. So good for him. Unfortunately, that meant his demise. He asked his wife to go, but she refused. She didn't want to be separated. He would go wherever he went, and so they passed away together. They found his body, but not his wife's. But she was included in the mausoleum. So that was sad. But before that sad ending to his life, he and his brother owned Macy's and were responsible for the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade.
Sure. Yeah.
And before it was the Thanksgiving Parade, it was called it wasn't the Paupers, Beggars Parade? Oh, the Ragamuffin Day Parade. And then it became the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And someone has thrown out a challenge here. The parade was included balloon puppets of the talented Tony Sarg, who needs a WikiTree profile. So someone needs to on that. I can tell you the last week's when we talked about the profiles and we said we needed a profile for the it was created right away, and within a few an hour or two later, Judy Stutz gave me the link to it, and it was a #1 profile, like -1, because it was the first one of his name. So
very cool.
Wow.
That was very cool. So thank you, Judy.
Great, Judy.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. Anyways, there's Isidor's, and again, I'm going to show you what Isidor's profile looks like with the new. And so see here, like this is a very cool, newspaper in the background there, but it is a bit overwhelming. It sort of is distracting from the meat of the profile.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I kind of like the banner being up top, but not flooding the rest of the page, Now, the sad thing about this particular one is that I kind of want to read the whole thing, and I can't. So I don't know. I can't even right click to open up this image on its own. So, but
Hmm.
most banners aren't like that, right? Full page ones.
Maybe there's a link for that as a source or see
Yeah.
also.
Oh, that's a good question. Good point. Like under images, if I scroll through them, there's probably about their biography or their
Obituary.
obituary. That's the word I was looking for. There's a nice picture of the two of them. Bodies discovered. But I don't see that same photo that was used as the background there, but it's got to be here somewhere.
But maybe there's a link.
There's census,
URL, no?
census, marriage record. Oh, well, it's probably in one of these, the Wikipedia link or the Encyclopedia Britannica, my guess. That's a lot of text. So right there. Maybe the other one.
There's a link for the GTP of the new design. So there you'll find the instructions.
Oh, thank you for posting that. That's good. Last two, we have Susanna Jackson Winslow, who was one of the women in the colony in 1621, and so I don't know if she was the one who put the turkey in the oven back then. But anyways, daughter of Richard and Mary Jackson. Interesting. So the interesting thing genealogically is that much debated problems in the genealogy about her parentage is a question. And it has been shown that she is Susanna Jackson, the daughter of Richard Jackson and Mary Pettinger. But apparently that was a big question, a big debate for a long time. And then here are the reasons, the evidence for that. So quite an interesting profile. And her connection is she was in the colony at the time. And the last one is John Woodleaf Sr. Captain Woodleaf, and his connection was that he was another American colonial Thanksgiving. He presided over one that was held in the Barclay Plantation, which I think was Virginia. Virginia and the first Thanksgiving, there it is. And then here's a story all about that. And I will leave that as an exercise to the readers to go through that. So there are your Thanksgiving profiles of the week.
Fantastic. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and just one Canadian today?
Just the one Canadian. Yeah, we had a plethora of Canadians last week.
Yeah.
A whole, at least 3 of them had Canadian connections last week.
Yeah, we had a lot.
Yeah, it was very, very much. Yeah, so very cool. So now what I should have loaded up the what's happening.
Yeah.
So let me just show that now. And what's happening in November? Well, there's not much November left. So it's most of November.
Just a few hours.
Yeah, 13 hours.
So there's us. There's a weekend chat happening. And the sourcing sprint. That's what's left of November. But do we have post for? We have the post for December.
December, maybe.
Let's go back.
It would be pinned, I bet.
Yeah, so not quite. Awen's working on it, I'm sure.
Yes.
But I can, because I made a bookmark. If I can remember where I put my bookmark. There's my genealogy bookmarks. Lipton. I made a bookmark for getting to the
social media page.
And now you can find it.
Now I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
It was inside WikiTree. Oh, don't you hate that?
Yes. You can do it, Greg.
There we go.
Woo.
Social media. Woohoo. Thank you to Azure for editing this. And thanks for Lisa for doing it, having taken over and doing that so much. But now that but Lisa's gone, so Azure is back on track doing the social media. So here we are. So the question of the week for the week of Sunday, December. Wait a second. It's Sunday, December 1st.
Yes.
But that's okay. As of tomorrow, the question of there will be a question of the week. The one name study will be Tarling. There'll be a connection checkers, but we don't know who yet. This will be the first Wednesday, so we'll be asking Alesh, and I will be there. And at 9 o'clock, Liam just goes down for his hour-long nap, so that's timed very perfectly for right now, hopefully. Ruddle Station, Virginia is the one place study happening on that Wednesday. France Project is the one we highlight on Thursday. There's a Friday date night with Julie. There's also a Rock Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Okay. And 2 bingos, Friday night bingos. Wow. So we're having a date night and Friday night bingo.
Wow.
Busy.
Yeah.
Fun.
And as Ozzy reminded us, it's already the first.
Yes, it's already the first. Happy December to you, Ozzy.
Hey, there's Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Yes.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Are you over?
I'm done.
Oh, I was curious.
Yes.
And I found, I know you found it too, Greg. This is Adolphus shader video. I'm sharing the link for the video.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
How the Forgotten Ancestors.
Yes, that Lucas Murphy did.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Betsy. I didn't quite get it. Lucas Murphy is the one who does.
He is a WikiTreeer who goes and finds these photos of people that are no relation to him, but he, digs into them and their stories, and he creates a video and a WikiTree profile for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You can share. You can subscribe his channel, and there's the link.
Thank you.
I'm going to do it now. That's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah. Excellent.
Well,
Great. Well,
great.
And we did talk. You already mentioned about the symposium. Only 4 days left to view.
Yes, I left the link to the playlist also in the chat.
That's good. Good. And as promised, I did meet with our lead elves last weekend, and Vicki is joining the lead elves team.
Yes. Ding, ding.
So I've got the G2G post all ready to go. It's gonna come out next Saturday morning for wishes and stuff. And in that I talk about, so the big reveal is going to be the first Saturday in January. And I said the people who are going to be on that big reveal will be Betsy and the lead elves. And I'm thinking, that sounds like a band name. Betsy and the lead elves.
Yes.
Oh, and we should mention that Rock is back and is starting tomorrow.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Random acts of WikiTree kindness. Wow.
That is correct. Yes.
And do we know the names of the 5 people? Or will that be posted?
It will be posted. Kathy, can I say?
Oh, you're allowed. Or you
Kathy Melvin is in charge now.
Kathy's in charge. Way to go, Kathy. That's great.
Yeah. If she pops it in the chat that I can say, I will say.
Well, while we're waiting for that, we should congratulate Mason.
She says yes.
Yes, she says yes.
Okay.
So Melly van der Heide, Murray Maloney, who's in the chat, Carrie Given, Jessica Gannon, and Thomas Finlay Thompson.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So good geographical representation.
Yeah.
Great.
Excellent. Very cool. Well, we've got a great week coming up then, and happy December to those who are already celebrating December, and happy December to the rest of us who will be getting there shortly in a few hours.
Yeah.
And okay, if it's possible, it's getting even more snowy out that window.
Wow.
It does look like a little bit heavier.
I'm supposed to drive into town. It's a 15-minute drive normally to get to the church for my 5 o'clock mass. I might have to tell the person to sing a cappella.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. Anyways, have a great rest of your Saturday or Sunday morning, as the case may be. And we'll see you here next week.
Okay.
See you next month.
Have a great weekend.
See you next month. Yeah, that's right. Ciao.
See you. Bye-bye.